Hello, everyone. This is Susan Martin from Bauer Center for the Arts, and you're listening to Behind the Bauer. The show offers inspiring conversations, a fresh look at arts in our community, and provides spotlights on artists, performers, collaborative partners, educators, and organizations. We want to celebrate the universal expression of human experiences through arts, culture, and our community. And today we're talking with Megan Huffman, Director of Share Greater Lynchburg. Just to give you a little bit of background, Share Greater Lynchburg is a community engagement conduit offering simple ways for neighbors, nonprofits, and businesses to come together to strengthen our local community. And they make it easy for people to find local nonprofits, engage with them, how they choose whether it's donating of their time, money, attending a nonprofit's event, buying much needed items from their wish list. All of that can be done easily through their website as well. And today we're going to learn more about how you, our listeners, can support the nonprofits in our region and also talk a little bit about Giving Tuesday, which is today. So welcome, Megan.
Thank you so much, Susan. So good to hear your voice and to be joining you today.
Yeah, thank you. So let's start by introducing yourself and maybe telling our listeners a little bit about what inspired the creation of Share Greater Lynchburg.
Sure. So my name is Megan Huffman. Again, I am the Director of Community Outreach and Share Greater Lynchburg for the Greater Lynchburg Community Foundation. It's quite a title, but it's a program of the Greater Lynchburg Community Foundation that was started about 4 years ago. And when it was started, it was formed by a committee of volunteers who had joined forces during the COVID-19 pandemic. And they met weekly online through Zoom just to talk about how can we ensure that our region is not negatively impacted by COVID-19. How can we help the most vulnerable populations and organizations and businesses that might suffer? And so out of that sort of, when under pressure, sometimes amazing things can form. I would say that it's sort of a diamond that formed out of the fire, I guess, of COVID-19. But for a long time, people had been saying we need one place to go to find all of our nonprofits in our region. And, there's an Excel sheet over at the United Way, and there's an Excel sheet over at the Community Foundation. Where can we go that's publicly forward facing that we can find ways to give back? And so out of that formed the committee, and they said we need a tool. And there happened to be a gentleman who was on the committee, a pastor, a Reverend Nathan Brooks, and his daughter-in-law had invented Share Charlotte, which was the original type of share that was put out into the world. And so that had started, they're about 6 years older than us. So we were essentially the fourth city in the nation to come on with the Share platform. And now there's 8 cities across the country, and it's continuing to grow. We're actually the smallest. And we have an annual membership or a fees that we pay to have access to the platform. And that allows us to feature 181 different nonprofits at no cost to the nonprofit. We certainly have more nonprofits that we are seeking. And particularly in the Bedford community, I know that there are organizations that, may not know about Share Greater Lynchburg yet. And we'd love for, you to help connect us or for us to reach, be able to add, like we just recently added the Bedford Christmas Station, and we've been able to help promote the good work that they're doing. And I know the Bauer Center and you have been very involved from the beginning. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah. So just, I know that some people may be like, well, is it just Lynchburg because it's in the title? So tell a little bit about what area does it cover?
Sure. So yes, we named it Share Greater Lynchburg because it's really the same footprint, obviously, as many organizations in our community, and the Greater Lynchburg Community Foundation, which is our parent organization. That is the city of Lynchburg and all the counties that touch it. Amherst, Appomattox, Bedford, and Campbell. And that, has been Region 2000. It has a lot of different names in the past, but many of the organizations that might be based in the city of Lynchburg do outreach work in all the surrounding counties. And so I would say the majority of our organizations reach out into all of the counties that are touching the city. And then there is a feature where you can select for organizations that serve the particular county. So you can search Bedford County, and all the organizations that serve or are based in Bedford come up.
Right.
So there's aggregating tools that allow you to make your search more hyper local.
Right, right. That's awesome. Tell a little bit about, let's start from a nonprofit perspective. What are some of the benefits for a nonprofit organization that participates?
Right. So the goal is really one of the goals, in addition to having a directory and a tangible tool for our neighbors to use, is also to create more cohesion and collaboration among the nonprofit sector in our region. We know that when nonprofits work together, the dollars go further.
Right.
That's obviously of particular interest to the foundation, because each year we have the great opportunity to discern where $2.3 million is going to be distributed. But the requests come in are way more than $2.3 million, right? So over 250 organizations benefited last year from the Greater Lynchburg Community Foundation. But when nonprofits work together and can lean on each other and maybe collaborate on projects, it means that one organization is not trying to solve all of
Mm-hmm.
the social issues in our community. So we offer monthly lunch and learns.
Mm-hmm.
It's the third Wednesday of each month, and those bounce around the different nonprofits. We find the nonprofit partners who will host,
Mm-hmm.
and nonprofit leaders can gather there. Free lunch is provided, and it's a time of fellowship and sharing what's going on in the organizations, and then a presentation and a tour. And that really has led to some awesome synergy and connection between organizations. There really is no replacement for in-person networking, right? I mean,
Oh,
we had
absolutely.
to do so much of the digital stuff on Zoom during the pandemic, but we really find that some really awesome synergy happens when we get together. So we might have a youth development topic, but food insecurity comes because they want to talk about how they can help provide food for the youth to make sure that they are not going to school hungry. There's just these great
Right.
opportunities for collaboration. We also have quarterly mixers. We're having one tonight at Three Roads Brewery in downtown Lynchburg for Giving Tuesday, but we have those as a time to connect. We also help. We work with the Central Virginia Academy for Nonprofit Excellence, CVANE, to put on Board 101 classes to help new people to the community, young professionals, individuals who haven't served on a board yet, to learn the fundamentals of board service. And we
Mm-hmm.
offer those typically about quarterly as well. And additionally, we help the Lynchburg Area Regional Lynchburg Business Alliance to put on the Nonprofit Summit, which is every July.
Mm-hmm.
And we typically see about 150 attendees to come and learn, network, hear from a national speaker, and we assist with the organization and planning of that. So a lot of, we say, magnify, equip, and connect the sector together.
Right, right. Yes. And I can attest the summit is wonderful. So, for any nonprofit leader, board member, anybody listening, put that on your calendar for next year, because that is so beneficial. I have, um, you know, met new collaborations, new people, but also, the workshops and the guest speakers are just amazing. So, I can't say enough about that. That's a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful, wonderful thing. Um, what
Good.
let's also, you were talking about the collaboration of organizations. Do you have any examples of maybe some unique or creative collaborations among the nonprofits in our community at this point?
Yes, one of the ones that we go back to or we're proud of is when at one of our first events, the Lynchburg Humane Society, as well as the Meals on Wheels of Greater Lynchburg, which obviously serves a very wide, area, got together and they hatched the idea for Animeals, which is the surplus that comes into of food of animal and pet donation food donations that comes into the Humane Society. They get a lot of surplus at times throughout the year, and that is given to the Meals on Wheels because they were finding that sometimes recipients who were food insecure receiving meals were not eating themselves. They were passing off their food to their animal.
Oh my goodness.
Because they just, didn't want to see an animal go hungry. And so the recipients of Meals on Wheels who have animals can sign up for regular pet food donations, and that all comes from the Humane Society. And that was just a creative new program that was launched at one of our events. We also have seen a lot of synergy between arts and culture and youth development. So when we get together with Jubilee Center or the Boys and Girls Club, there have been wonderful opportunities for the Academy Center of the Arts, which serves our region, to do outreach at their events, their block parties, and so we have a Thursday newsletter that goes out, and we try to market any tabling opportunities or events where different organizations can set up. And so there's a great network of connections. So if Johnson Health Center has a health fair, the Academy or the YMCA might, know to go to it and set up a table and find out about resources through the interconnectivity of this community. So I would say we've really tried to move the sector from a mentality of from scarcity to abundance. We have plenty to go around, and if we can be strategic and communicate well and work together, we can navigate how to create best practices to serve our community.
Right. Yeah. We at Bauer Center have had a couple of examples too, as well, that of collaborative initiatives that have come out of the connections we have made through Share Greater Lynchburg and the events. We actually developed a relationship with Harmony Day Support. That's an organization that provides services for adults, youth and adults with disabilities. And we've been very fortunate now for a year to be able to provide art programming to their individuals. They actually come to Bauer Center for the Arts every other week, bringing groups of their individuals. Then we do art activities and we do art scavenger hunts, and we've really benefited from that, as have they. And they were there this morning when I left to come do the podcast, and it's just a wonderful experience. And we've also have a collaborative effort now with Brook Hill Farms, which is the therapeutic horse rescue there in Good. And we've been taking therapeutic art programming to them for their youth and adults that are coming there for the therapeutic riding. So we've actually benefited from that as well. Yes. So
that's great. Yeah. These opportunities are just, I know that there are so many that I don't even know about,
Right.
and
I know.
Incredible.
Yes.
It's incredible that these wonderful opportunities have happened because, Susan, you can speak to this. There's just, when those events happen, there's so much wonderful synergy in the room.
Yeah.
And really an incredible sense of purpose. And it always is sort of like a shot in the arm of rejuvenated. We're all out here working so hard, and there can be a lot of burnout in the nonprofit sector.
Absolutely.
And it's so nice when we can come together and lift one another up. I know that when we have the spring mixer, we do it at the Lynchburg Hillcat Stadium, and we've been able to really onboard a lot of nonprofits that can benefit from their community connections program. And so they've had just dozens of organizations have game nights where they've invited their donors, their sponsors, their recipients to a night at the ballpark, and it becomes a fundraiser for the nonprofit. And that's just led to an increase of Hillcats attendance year over year, as well as just a lot of fundraising that has gone into the sector from the ticket sales and the ballpark experiences. And those are always really fun synergy moments too.
Yeah, definitely. We've talked about the nonprofits and how Share Greater Lynchburg supports them. Let's talk for a few minutes about how individuals and or businesses can get involved. We talked about at the beginning in the opening, I talked about volunteer opportunities or donation opportunities. Let share a little bit about that.
Sure, yes. So individuals and neighbors in the community can visit Share Greater Lynchburg at any time and find wonderful ways to give back. There's hundreds of ways to donate dollars, goods, to attend events, and to sign up to volunteer. And businesses can become sponsors for our various programming. For example, we have Bank of the James that's sponsoring our Give Good efforts for Giving Tuesday today. We have Lunch and Learns that are sponsored by Freedom First Credit Union. Like I said, the Hillcats are a partner that has hosted events. We always look for new venues to host our events that where nonprofits can look at the space and say, oh, maybe I could have an event here. So we're always looking for spaces that will give us an opportunity to use it in kind. And just we're always willing to think about new programming opportunities, like new initiatives that we could set up. We've done a April National Volunteer Month recognition of volunteers in our community in the past, and that's been supported by Pinnacle Financial Partners. And we always, do collaborations with the United Way, CVAIN, the Alliance. We always try to attend any young professional events and college fairs that are going on, because some of our most active visitors to the site are colleges and university students. And, we have about 6 in the region. And so anytime they have an event to set up at a table or speak to a class, I know I speak to middle and high school students regularly, and Rotary clubs and Kiwanis clubs. So anything like that where we could come out and talk a little bit more about the platform and kind of the portal to activity, we would love to do that.
Okay. Yeah. So we've mentioned a few times through our discussion about Giving Tuesday. Can you explain a little bit about the significance of Giving Tuesday and how it supports nonprofits in our area?
Sure. Giving Tuesday is a global movement that occurs on the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. It's a little bit later this year because Thanksgiving fell a little bit later. But, we have Thanksgiving and then Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday. And Giving Tuesday is a global movement that was started 12 years ago. And it was started in the United States, and it has spread to last year, $3.1 billion was given on this day. It also, there's a global data commons that is an awesome resource. There's a lot of funders that are helping to do research on trends in giving. And they're finding that people aren't just giving cash, they're giving goods, they're giving to their local thrift stores, they're giving canned food donations and hygiene products, and they're giving of their time. And so they've begun to track that as well and look at it's sort of the parent of all giving data for the globe. And it really is incredible research that's available. But today is a day where we're just pausing from the fury of the season and talking about how to give back. A lot of nonprofits offer matches during this day where a donor has given, a challenge match that they'll match whatever comes in this day up to a certain amount. We have, nearly 100 ways to volunteer on our page right now. And we would just love to see visitors come to the site and sign up to volunteer, maybe over the holiday break with your family, or look into the new year and look at a regular opportunity for giving monthly of your time or become a monthly donor. So we just want to support and magnify the messaging that the nonprofits that we partner with put out there today.
Right. Yeah. As we are starting to wrap up, tell our listeners the website where they can go to participate and find more information.
Sure. So sharegreaterlynchburg.org is the website. And again, we have 181 different nonprofits. If you're a nonprofit that is not featured on there and want to get involved, just reach out at info@sharegreaterlynchburg.org and we'll get you set up at no cost. We're part of the Greater Lynchburg Community Foundation, which is lynchburgfoundation.org.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that supports the dollars that are donated unrestricted or restricted to funds are invested in the stock market. And out of that pours $2.3 million every year to various organizations around the community. Sometimes we have donors who specifically say, I want these funds that I'm giving to give specifically to Bedford County, for example.
Right.
So we have particular dollars that have to be spent in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
And we have wonderful distribution committees and a board that makes those decisions and does a lot of research on where those dollars go. So the whole goal of Share is to create a pipeline for philanthropy so that if a child is wanting to give dog food to the Humane Society as a 5-year-old, and then they grow to, be in a civic organization in high school and maybe volunteer in college, perhaps one day, they'll see the benefit of philanthropy as a lifelong decision,
Right.
and what giving to a community foundation might do to leave a legacy on this earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. Bauer Center for the Arts has been very fortunate to receive support from the Greater Lynchburg Community Foundation, and we're so thankful because it's been supporting various projects and programs that we've been incorporating, and that includes what we call as our art reach, which is our outreach that we do specifically with organizations, with individuals with disabilities, youth and adults. And then also they've been very gracious to support some of our summer art programming, our summer camps, so that, it's accessible and available to any child that wants to participate. So we're very thankful for all of that support from both Share Greater Lynchburg and the Greater Lynchburg Community Foundation. I want to wrap up and
Yes,
go
thank
ahead.
you.
Yeah, I just want to wrap up.
Oh, I was just going to say, I do think of Share as the equity arm, and GLCF is really promoting a lot of equity and access in the community. So I'm really glad you shared that, and I'd love to tell that story as well, in our channels as well.
Absolutely. So on this Giving Tuesday, I do want to remind our listeners, Bauer Center for the Arts does have a campaign today, and we are doing a match. We have been the gracious recipients of a grant from Norfolk Southern, and it's to support a new outdoor art learning center. So we hope that our listeners will join us in transforming education and creativity at Bauer Center for the Arts. Your donation today will help support us in building a vibrant outdoor art space where we can use nature to come together and inspire individuals of all ages. We're very excited about this project because it's going to allow us to take individuals outdoors right at the Bauer Center. Our property is very small, but this is going to allow us to create a decking space just off to the side of our building. And we hope that, that will enrich the creativity, connection, and exploration of those participating, and we can go outdoors more. So, please consider making an impact and donate to Bauer Center for the Arts through the Giving Tuesday campaign today and help us with that match with our Norfolk Southern grant. And that's available at bowercenter.org. And lastly, I do like to remind everybody that if you want to give the gift of art and creativity this year, you can shop our Winter Gifts gift shop. It is located on the second floor at Bauer Center for the Arts. We have a wonderful variety of handcrafted gifts that include jewelry, pottery, wooden gnomes, stained glass ornaments, charcuterie boards, hand-felted hats, gloves, handbags, and more. Everything is hand-created by crafters and artisans from around the region. And our hours are Tuesdays through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and a portion of all purchases supports our art programming at Bauer Center for the Arts. So if you want to come out and get a one-of-a-kind gift, there's some amazing pieces there. And then, as usual, all the art basically in Bauer Center for the Arts is available for purchase. So support local artists in our community as well. So, Megan, I want to thank you. Any last words or wrap-up that you would like to provide?
Just to say that we live in a incredibly generous region, and it's just, I think it's a big draw to the area when people are looking to move to this region about how charitable and giving this community is. And so I think that we don't just do it on Giving Tuesday. We the ethos of this community is to do that every day.
Right.
And it's just wonderful to, be in community with you and all the good work you're doing at Bauer Center and with all of our nonprofit partners. So I just wanted to say a moment of gratitude for all the work you do every day.
Well, thank you. And again, I reiterate that we're so thankful for the wonderful communities that we live in and all of the individuals that support the nonprofits that are doing such amazing work in our region. So, Megan, thank you again for joining me this morning. It's been wonderful to talk to you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
Thank
Happy
you.
Giving Tuesday.
Yeah, you've been listening to Behind the Bower.